Way down upon the Swanee River, far, far away. That's where my heart is yearning ever, home where the old folks stay, home where the old folks stay.
Welcome to Florida Mint on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida. Now, if you notice,
that intro really changes.
it's
like
spooky.
Oh, yeah.
That's some spooky
Sets
music.
me in a
spooky
mood.
music, yeah.
I'm ready for this month to be October.
October over already.
terrible.
We're just getting started.
so bad.
Listen, it's
Oh,
October.
man.
We celebrate the spooky in the month of October.
Yep.
But it's not too spooky, okay? Your kids can stay awake. Don't send them to bed because we still keep it family friendly, but it's a little
Right.
spooky.
The only
Um,
person that actually gets
scared.
scared is Joshua.
Yes.
Oh, only because I've been set up by you guys.
Well,
to
you
run
keep
across
saying
the
that.
green swamp.
that happened one time.
That was enough.
It was a
actually.
year
Yeah.
ago. You're still complaining about
Yeah,
it.
You're
get
right.
over it.
I was almost slaughtered
Cocky
by
boy.
a big monster. So
Well, you didn't see anything.
you don't
That's
have
true.
to see anything to be slaughtered by a monster.
That's true. And I've always said
point.
that. You don't have to see it to be slaughtered by it.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Facts
here's
are
the
facts.
Here's the thing. We have a Halloween special coming up later on in the month, and we've got some spooky treats happening along the way on social media and on the episode. But as per usual, Cameron has a little treat for us, don't you, Cameron?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're called headlines.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
That's
trick or
right.
treat.
oh, that's a big treat, not a little treat.
Give it
Trick
to
or
us.
treat.
That's a
Smell my
whole
feet.
freaking cake, baby.
Give me headlines or something good to eat.
Patreon.com is where you can find some of the best content that your heart desires. We have bonus episodes, behind the scene pictures, and most importantly, we have the live stream where you can watch our episodes a week in advance, hang out with us, get to know us better. It's patreon.com/FMOFM podcast.
Okay, headlines.
Okay, headlines.
All right, so we have a Florida man, all right, who
Yes, please.
was arrested for sending inappropriate text messages and kind of threatening text messages to multiple women, okay,
Mhm.
saying that I followed your sister to work.
What?
What?
Even when I get out of jail, I'll have people get to you. Not afraid to jail. Anyways, it's all these different threats, multiple threats
Right.
that are coming from his phone. Coming from this guy to multiple women.
Yes.
Okay, and so he gets arrested,
Good.
Okay, real Romeo.
right?
Yeah.
Except for the fact that he never sent any of those text messages. And this
Really?
25-year-old woman
Mhm.
who was apparently unhappy with a couple of dates that she went on with this guy,
Oh, my goodness.
posed as this guy,
I love it.
sent herself text messages
Okay.
with all these threats, sent her sister all these text messages with these threats,
Okie dokie.
and they both got restraining orders against this guy.
Man, they really layered this
Holy moly.
catfish.
Yes.
scheme, huh?
Got restraining orders against this guy,
Hmm.
and then he gets arrested, and the cops realize, hold on, my dude, you didn't send any of these.
He's
Right.
He's
I
like,
was
I've been saying
I've been
that
saying that.
for weeks.
And they're
check-
like, yeah, but we kind of hear that a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. So they check the phone logs. They kind of go in there and they're like, "Man, this guy never even texted this girl."
Yeah, they literally realized like
Yep.
that he didn't send any of it.
So what was the end result?
Well, so apparently this girl has a reputation of doing stuff like this, where she's trying to entrap some guys.
Okay.
And
Not
so,
a good quality.
No, it's not a good
No.
quality half. No, not at all. And so, police realize this. They go arrest her, and she has a bond of $100,000.
Holy moly.
Oof,
That's
Yeah,
a-
but I mean that's like
dangerous.
you're literally trying to ruin somebody's life.
right.
Yeah, because you didn't get a good date with them.
I mean, begs the question is, what kind of date was she expecting?
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
it's probably Ruby Tuesdays with that salad bar.
Oh, true.
And
That's
he
when
did-
I first found out about craisins.
You think so?
Yeah. And then they went and it was boarded up.
Are you crazy about them?
I like them.
I don't. My thing is, I mean, it's definitely super scary because in the digital age, I feel I sound super old saying that.
Yeah.
In the modern age, you can frame a lot of people pretty easy.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, yes, you can.
Yeah,
It should be almost equally easy to disprove.
But
in this
exactly,
Sure,
that's what I was
right,
going to say.
right.
But if it does get to the point where, law enforcement is involved, I feel like it is easily disproved. However,
right.
how much damage can be done before law enforcement gets
Absolutely.
involved, and like
Absolutely.
you can.
True.
It's just crazy, man.
Now, is that her? Is that the?
No, you're looking at my next headline.
Well,
Don't
put
read
your phone
that.
up where I can't see it.
Yeah, don't
Get a
look at
tablet.
it.
So
or
she's in
something.
prison, and the sister's in prison
I didn't say anything about that.
Oh,
because
no, it's
she
just
was a collaborator.
Well, yeah.
I know. I think she should be, but it just didn't mention her.
I just want to say on a side note, that if your sibling does something illegal, you should also go to jail.
Well,
You're probably gonna stand on your own with that.
You think so?
If
Yeah,
your
that
sister,
stands.
if your sister asks you to commit a crime, hey, I
Yep.
really need this. I really need you to help me out on this.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
flatten this
Would you do
guy's
it?
tires.
It depends on the crime.
Okay. What kind of crime would you be
Would
willing
you,
to
Ray
commit
J?
for your sister?
If it depends on what was done to my sister.
Oh,
If my sister
that's
went,
true.
If my
Okay,
sister went on like
okay.
a bad
Like you're
date,
talking like avenging,
right? So if she
Okay.
went on like a bad date, I would say, well, yeah, get over it. Yeah,
right?
What if she was in a bad
You
marriage?
did say- I think
What'd
you
you-
said. I think
what'd
you
you
said the
do?
same thing.
I said, get over it.
Okay,
He's on my
All right.
podcast. What do you want me to do about it?
My man,
What do you want me to do about it?
clean break.
Oh man! All right, next headline. I don't want to get too far
Friends.
into that. Boom, baby. So our next headline, we have a woman,
Yeah.
Florida woman. Okay,
Yeah,
man. She, love is a interesting.
It's yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it
It
is.
is an interesting thing.
Yeah, it is.
Well, she had an ex. Okay,
Uh-oh.
that I guess she was still interested in. So
okay.
she goes to this ex's house. Now, just to be clear, she has a court-ordered no contact.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so
Hmm.
because
Tricky.
she had an altercation in an American Legion post parking lot. Okay, American Legion parking lot.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Post 347.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a
Okay.
young couple.
Well, she's 38, but
Yeah. The American
Anyways,
Legion doesn't attract a lot of young
so
people.
she gets in this argument and altercation with this ex, and so she gets this no contact order issue, and that was 2 years ago. Well,
okay.
apparently, she wanted to see this guy again, so she goes to his house.
Yep.
Nobody's there. She finds her way in. But as she's in the house,
Oh.
her ex's new wife
Wow. He moved
shows
on.
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't say how
Yeah,
long
it's
they've
2
been
years,
broken.
right?
Well, it doesn't say how long they've been
Okay.
broken up. It just says how long since the fight.
Okay.
Okay. And so the new wife comes in.
Yeah.
And the ex is like, well, normally I think you'd get out of there.
Ideally.
Yeah.
she's-
I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
She's
like
looking for some place to hide, though.
Yeah.
Heck yes.
So she hides in the dryer.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
She's curled up in the dryer.
Is this a commercial dryer or?
Maytag it. We fit everything.
Okay. That's what they say.
So, anyways, she
Oh,
hides in the
gosh.
dryer. The new wife finds her curled up in the dryer, and a physical altercation broke out. Dude, can you imagine being stuck in a dryer with somebody just beating on
It's
you?
hard.
I was
to
just about
come
to
out
say,
ready.
if you're the new wife
Yeah.
and you lose that fight, you don't
No.
come back from that.
No,
close that door.
If somebody can crawl out of a dryer
And
whoop
beat you up?
yeah,
You shut the door and turn it on.
Don't turn it on.
that's geez, Wayne.
It's self-defense, castle law.
That's a crime.
Okay.
That's not what that
That's-
means.
I read it.
That's probably the worst thing ever.
Okay.
Oh, anyway,
You
so
close
she
it and you
go
just
ahead.
put something in front of it.
what?
Oh.
Oh, so until
Yeah.
the cops get there.
Yeah.
For years.
But you keep talking to her, make sure she's alive.
True.
Oh,
You
I
good in
gotcha.
there?
Yeah.
You
You
mean-
want a Slim Jim?
You need some Kool-Aid?
I see what you're saying.
Slip something through the vent. So she gets booked, and she's only got $4,000 bond, so not that bad.
Not too bad at all.
Okay, so sneak into a house.
Oh,
Right.
did she say like I thought I left something in the dryer?
Right. Well, I was going to say, you break into a house
Yep.
and you go hide in the dryer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's breaking and entering. That's trespassing. $4,000 bond.
Well, there was another one.
Okay.
Methamphetamine.
There it is, baby.
Okay. Okie dokie.
There it is.
That's meth makes dryers.
I mean, that makes
look-
sense, right?
She looks
Don't-
like she's seen it before.
I've seen the inside of a dryer.
She's seen the inside of a dryer before.
Yeah, she's
for
been
sure.
electrocuted.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Look at that hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
That says
there's a lot of volume.
That says I stole copper.
Cameron
There's
just
a lot of
showed
volume to
us
that hair.
the mugshot, and
Yeah.
the woman. If you had told me she had went a couple rounds in the dryer, I would believe it.
Yep.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's staticky.
All right, our next headline, we have two guys that are driving along Interstate 75.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And, just
You don't make friends.
tragedy strikes
Yeah.
where they have a crash, they lose control
No.
of their car, collided with a barrier wall, and end up stopped in the center of the median.
Okay.
Sure. Sure.
Yep.
So they have this big crash, and so some good Samaritans come along.
Mhm.
It's a mother and a daughter. They're like the daughter's 27, so not
Okay.
young.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyways, so they come along and they see this happen, so they stop and, hey,
Nice.
you guys need anything? You need
Yeah.
help? You need us to call anybody? And so the two guys pull out a gun and say, "Get in your car. We're taking this car with us." And they
Pardon?
abducted them,
Okay.
carjacked them, and forced these women
Well, that's
to
going to be
drive
discouraging.
30 minutes to Tampa
Okay.
while they're sitting in the back of the car with a gun to them.
Luckily, they were going to Tampa. So
Here's
Yeah.
the thing: were
It worked
they
out.
the people that crashed on the interstate? Were they fleeing like a bank robbery? Like,
It doesn't say. That's the thing, is they haven't found them.
wait,
Oh,
what?
gosh.
So they told the women that they had become lost after leaving Lakeland.
The women became lost?
No, the guys.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
so somehow they crashed, and then they're like, I don't know what they were trying to do, but obviously they didn't want police showing up to a crash. And so
Right.
they hijacked this, this couple, these two women, and they end up having the couple drop them off somewhere in Tampa. And so they're looking for them still. They did let the mother and daughter go.
Yeah, they let 'em
didn't-
go.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, without the car, probably.
Right, no injuries. No, they let them take the car. They
What?
they literally had them drop
Drop
them
them
off
off?
in Tampa.
Okay.
I mean, they probably could have just said, "Hey, can you give us a ride to Tampa?"
Right. You didn't have to. pull
Yeah,
a
leave the
gun
gun
out.
out of the equation, my guy.
Goodness.
Honestly, like blown away.
That's
When you try to do, that's the kind of stuff that people
Mm,
lose
mm,
trust and like don't want to help people.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, look, the two crazies who got lost leaving Lakeland, they're not a fair depiction of humanity.
No, not at
or
all.
Lakeland.
Or Lakeland, right? But I'm very happy that the mother and daughter were okay.
Yeah, they're
that's here's the thing: they're on the interstate. I wonder how many people were like super confused driving by. Like they see this like
Yeah.
going down, like
I feel like it would have to happen really quick.
Yep.
yeah, like a quick turnover.
Yeah, I mean, if they see
That's-
this crash happen and then they get out to help, and then it's like, get back in the car. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right,
don't think
yeah.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
like a
you don't think
standoff.
he's brandishing from like 100 yards away.
No,
Well,
no,
that's
no.
why I've said this for a very long time. When I see a car crash or a car that's been like pulled over, or they're on the side of the road,
What do you do?
I speed up as fast as I can
Safety first.
because you don't know if they have a gun or not.
You don't
Well,
know.
and I'm not a rubbernecker, so I always look the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Just out of
Well, you don't
privacy.
want to be caught. Rubbernecking.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
100%.
Just sidetrack. What was Saved by the Bell?
Mm-hmm,
What was Kelly's? What was her real name? The actress, was it
I-
Tiffany Thiessen?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Uh-huh.
Well, this article is written by Tiffany Thiessen.
Okay,
Really?
I just
Write her back. and
No,
tell her it's a
Welcome
good
to
article.
Florida,
We
Tiffany.
loved you in Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, our next headline comes
Bless
from
you.
the villages.
There we
Come
go.
on.
There we go.
All right. So we have a villager. They call him the
Golf cart.
like a villager. That's so strange.
Love it.
That was banned from a swimming pool after having political arguments with a fellow resident. So now he has this argument. He gets banned from the swimming pool.
Oh,
Man, if,
George,
and if
George
you live in-
Washington showed up.
Yeah.
and if you live in Florida,
Yeah.
in the villages, I imagine getting banned from the swimming pool.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's a low.
Because there's
I'm
got to be
so-
like
I'm-
84 of them.
Here's
Well-
the thing.
All swimming pools you can't have.
I have pretty set political beliefs,
Go on.
but I will become malleable if you threaten to kick me out of the pool.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're gonna start changing your.
I'm going to
ideas.
start adopting whatever you need me to say.
Sir, calm down, or we're going to have to ask you to leave.
Especially in the heat of summer.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What side do you need me to be on to keep swimming?
Exactly.
You know what
wanna
I
stay
mean?
cool and fresh.
I won't
100%.
speak again, actually.
Yeah, I'm just going to float.
Well,
Yes.
this pool banning turned into stalker charges
Ooh.
Wait, what?
because after this altercation, he
Yep.
basically got in an argument with a woman in the pool, and then he went to her house like multiple times to continue the argument.
My
Did he end up
God,
winning the
dude.
argument? Did
No,
she
because he
concede?
ended up in jail.
If you're...
So
There's a life lesson here.
well, it was also said that his golf cart was spotted at a different pool
Okay.
like a few days later.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's only a matter of time till he, he.
This
gets
guy
banned
made
from
it this
all of the
far in
pools.
life.
Well,
Hmm.
some people,
It's just one of those things where if you're that passionate about a topic, that it, you have to pursue somebody to continue
Yeah.
arguing with them. It's just like,
Proper venue, bro.
yeah, well, you're not going to convince them otherwise.
Not in a pool.
There's
No,
already
not
like
a
a
pool.
loose screw if you're going to follow somebody out of a pool and continue an argument.
the only
like,
argument I've lost in a pool is who can jackknife bigger.
Really?
that is a good one.
I side with you every time.
Thank you.
So who's arguing that point?
Nobody anymore.
Okay.
I remember like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
we had a random night of jackknifing and cannonballs.
Bunch of boys.
I'll never forget that night.
Yeah.
No, I will not either.
A lot of boys. Yeah, we were in the pool. And I remember my dad coming home and he was like, which one of you jumped off the roof through the screen into the pool? And I'm like, that guy over there is going to marry your daughter one day. And it was Joshua. But politely divorce her.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
And I jackknifed a big wave, which actually helped the lawn. So
I did.
all right, our next headline. We have a Florida man
Okay.
catches an alligator
Mm.
using just a trash can. Now, there's some skill involved with this.
Yeah.
I've got a trash can.
Yeah.
All right. We have, remember our headline back in the day when we had the guys in Chicago? Like for weeks, they were trying to catch an
Yeah.
alligator.
Yeah.
That somebody dropped in like a lagoon in the middle of Chicago and they
Yes.
couldn't do
Right.
it.
Yep.
So they had to eventually call
A
somebody
Florida
from
man.
Florida. Well, this guy had an alligator in his yard and he had called officials, but it was taking too long. He was worried about the neighborhood kids and his kids.
Okay.
So
You go
dude-
inside though, right? It's not inside. It's
Right.
outside.
Yeah,
Right.
but it can.
It can
We've
get in.
seen them like
Yeah,
knock
we
down
have.
doors.
They
and stuff.
manifest.
And so, anyways, he gets one of those big trash cans. You know, like the trash cans that the bucket comes and grabs.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has these trash cans
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, he gets one of those, lays it down, and the dude there's a video of this. He's like legit fighting and wrangling this alligator to put it into this trash can
What?
just to
is he
keep it inside of something.
He's fighting it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like it's one-on-one?
Well, the alligator doesn't want to go in the trash can.
He does not want to go in the trash can.
That's a known trait.
They have a fear of trash.
They don't
cans.
like trash cans. This guy,
Oh.
They
though,
have sensitive smell. I think.
this guy's got the trash can pointed
Oh,
towards the
sense of
alligator,
smell.
and the lid is open.
Oh, so it looks like a big old
like
jaws.
a trap. And he's like,
Yeah.
he's shoving it
Looks
into
like
the
a
gator.
mouth.
And
I
the
wouldn't
gator's
wanna
like,
go in there either.
not me either.
I would take a
I'll
nap.
side with the gator.
But you got to protect your kids.
I see what you're
My
saying.
Okay.
question though is, what would you do in this situation?
Go back inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
I'd take a trip to the Target or something.
You wouldn't think I should grab that trash can and try to.
There's
put the
actually-
alligator in
Oh
the
yeah,
trash can.
no.
What
no.
if the alligator sneaks out of your yard and goes down the street,
Even better?
and then chomps some other kid, and then you have the guilt?
Not my problem.
We're going to do
I
this.
could have put this alligator in a trash can.
An alligator's not invisible.
I'm going to give you guys this information
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
but this one's quick.
Okay.
State
He
of
was a
Florida.
fast.
State of Florida asked us to do this. Just as a reminder, if you encounter an alligator, the alligator hotline number is 866-392-4286. That's how you can take care of the alligator properly.
Yes.
Not in a trash can.
Oddly enough, they
It
showed up with a trash can.
also-
and they're like, "Where's the gator?"
Right.
It also is. It could be seen as illegal to do what he did.
Yeah. I mean,
Honestly, like you're not allowed.
The alligator probably freaked out.
You're not allowed to mess with alligators at all.
right. You got to weigh the risk versus reward.
Yep.
End up on our show,
Mm.
end up in alligator prison.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Well,
Where the
Chomp-
guards are
Chomp
alligator.
Kid was the other.
right. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Kid.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
the only reason he said he did it. He didn't want to get.
Take your kid inside, call the alligator hotline.
Yes.
You're welcome.
All right, our last one, real quick, just to upset Josh. We have a Florida woman
Yeah.
Mhm.
goes to a convenience store, buys 2 lottery tickets.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, and wins $2 million from
Okay.
each
What?
lottery ticket.
Wait, what?
She hit $2 million on both lottery tickets that were purchased in the same day from the same place.
That's when you say, I'm on drugs or something. My brain is broken. There's no way this
64-year-old
happened.
Florida woman won $4 million after the 2 lottery tickets she bought matched winning numbers.
You remember in The Office when
That's insane.
Michael Scott put the golden ticket all on the same pallet?
Yes.
I think you're supposed to separate the tickets
I think so.
that have $1 million prizes.
Dude, I was blown away. It's like, it gives me like millionaire vibes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where, you know,
There's
the
some kind of scam.
The same scam or same mob, everybody won all of the McDonald's stuff.
So she's in prison?
Yeah, well, not yet, but I think we can help her get there because I think we need to shed light.
Okay.
What are the odds of like 2 tickets that you bought winning jackpots?
1 in 200. 1 in
And
500.
both being like the same amount. And like she hit all 5 numbers. I
love instead of being happy for her, we're like, how can we get her in prison?
I'm just trying to find out who my new best friend is.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, prison is harsh, but I mean, I think
You got $4 million. You can get out.
You could get out. I would say public shaming.
I was saying that wealth is a prison.
Oh, it's its own type of prison.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, really.
Free her
The
from
love
the
of money.
law.
Right.
Hey, fellas.
Hello.
Good evening.
Josh?
It's really nice to be in a room with such nice boys.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, non-confrontational boys.
Yes.
I say that because
Yeah.
the question tonight comes from Shannon
Okay.
Doa, and she says, fellas, what's the dumbest argument you've been in?
The
dumbest.
Yeah.
So good.
My husband and I got in an argument about pickles.
Right.
And
Are they cucumbers?
can you pickle something too far? Can something be too pickled?
Oh.
Yeah.
Easily.
Is that-
Well, I don't know because
It's a
What's the
conundrum.
state past pickles
Right.
that it gets into?
that's true because if you have pickles in a jar,
Mm-hmm.
they can sit in there for
And continue to pickle.
no, but do they continue to pickle
I don't
or do
know.
they just get
I
to
guess
Do
a
they
point
reach a pickled state?
I
and then
think
it
they get to a
stops?
point where like, hey, we're pickled,
Oh,
but we'll chill in here.
yeah.
The answer to this,
We're
as-
Dylan here.
right? The answer to
Don't.
this, as far as like which side we're going to be on, depends on which person in this relationship listens to our show.
Yeah. Shannon
Does
Doa probably does actually.
listen to our show?
And what's
So-
her side?
I don't know actually. She
Okay.
didn't say.
I'm,
All right.
I'm siding with Shannon.
I'm on the once they're pickled, they're pickled.
Oh, they reach a state of
And
being
then they
pickled.
chill out and they
Right.
just
They dill out.
It's the same thing with like pickled eggs that you'll see at like convenience store.
Okay.
Or like pickled what do you call it?
Pig's feet.
Pig's feet. Oh god,
Mhm.
dude. I can't even like
So
I
you're
know-
saying 6 months down the road, you still grab it out and you're like, this is fine.
I think it's still pickled. I don't think it's more pickled.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
okay, you're wrong.
I think it's
That's where you're wrong.
absorbed as much pickle.
That's
You
where
As
you're
can't
wrong.
be.
That's
post-
where I'm wrong.
That's where you're wrong. I know for a fact that being pickled is a spectrum.
Okay.
You
So
enter.
it's pre-pickled?
No, you just exist. You're not pre-pickled. You're not pre-pickled right now.
Okay.
He is
okay.
pre-pickled.
Once
If he's not pickled, he
Oh.
is pre-pickled.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
And then once you enter the pickled state,
The pickled zone.
you're on the spectrum of pickled. You're on the spectrum
Okay.
now.
Mhm.
But if you stay in the juice long enough, the amount of pickledness you have
Uh-huh.
begins to thicken and
Oh.
you absorb it,
What if
making
fresh-
you more pickled.
I don't know.
You can't reach a post-pickled point?
I will say this. I thought like pickles for some reason in my head
Mm-hmm.
when somebody makes pickles, they take a cucumber
Mm-hmm.
and you have to like leave them in what is vinegar and for like a super long time, kind of like aging like whiskey or
Okay.
wine or something like that.
Everything's alcohol with
Bro,
you.
I thought it was like years
Yeah.
that it took for a cucumber to become a
It's
pickle.
like a week, right?
No, you can do it like in a day.
What?
That's what we call lightly pickled, which is again over here on the
Pickled spectrum.
Or it's just the process of
All right.
at that point.
Do we
it's
still
no
need to
longer-
answer the
it's
dumbest
no longer-
argument we've ever had?
Hold on.
It's no longer a cucumber, it's a pickle.
So the pickle's in the store
Yeah.
on the spectrum 1 to 10. I don't know if the
I don't
spectrum
trust the
is
pickles in a
numeric.
bag though.
I'm not
not
sure
a
what
I
those
would
are.
I would need to know. I would need to know when it entered the beginning of the pickled state to give you a proper estimate.
Okay. Well,
If they're in a store on average, they're slightly to the left on the spectrum.
4, they're like a 4 on the pickle scale.
Right. So my dumbest argument, besides this one that I've been a part of,
Okay. Well, that's
um,
hurtful.
I was 17
Mhm.
and I was in the stage of borrowing things from my dad,
Right.
like clothing wise.
Cowboy hats.
Well, because I had like skater clothes. I was a skater.
You were a skater boy.
Yeah.
and but I occasionally had to go to things where I needed like grown up clothes, but I
Okay.
didn't have any.
Prom, homecoming.
Sure, right? Yeah. So right. So I would often go to my father and be like, "Hey, can I borrow this tie? Can I borrow whatever?"
Nice.
And I got to this weird season where I was always borrowing his belt.
Okay.
Dad, can I borrow your
Okay.
belt?
Right.
My pants are falling down. Dad, can I borrow your belt?
Mhm.
So my dad would say, yeah, but it was like his belt. And my dad's a grown up. He's dressing up every day. So
Yep.
he's like, bring it back. That's all I need is
Right.
you bring my belt
For
back.
my pants.
Right. And then one day I come home from school. My dad's not there.
Mhm.
My mom's not there. I had somewhere to be. I was going to go on a little date.
Yeah.
And I wanted to dress
Oh.
like a grown up.
Yep.
And my dad's not there, so I can't ask him for permission.
Right.
I go to his room. I see it like
Is it shining?
shining
Yeah.
golden chalice of a belt.
Yeah.
And it's too tempting.
Okay.
I have to take it. So I take the belt. I put it
Uh-oh.
on. I go to
Yeah.
my date. It's a great date.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
Did she
great.
compliment your belt?
Let's just put it this way. I couldn't find the belt afterwards.
Okay.
And so
Well.
the reason why is because we went swimming
Oh, okay.
and I left
Oof.
my pre-swimming clothes at her place.
You jackknife?
In the pool? No. So I come home and and my dad, I forget about it. I'm just doing life. The next day, my dad's getting ready for work and I hear him in the other room ask my mom, hey, have you seen my belt? And immediately I'm like, crap.
I'm done.
I know where the belt's at. I didn't bring it home. I can't say,
By
Dad,
the pool.
I can't even say, Dad, I borrowed your belt without
Right.
asking. I don't have it. The belt's
Right.
gone.
It's not like you can give it back to him right now.
Right. So my dad goes, Wayne, come here.
Huh?
I go, come around the corner. Yeah, what's up, Pop?
Now, are
Dude.
you like, do you bring your spirits like super high? Like, oh, hey, what's up?
I don't know
Hey,
if I
Daddy,
could.
yo.
I knew, like, what's going on, Pop? I don't think I could.
What's
Yeah.
good, brother?
I was too scared, dude. I was like, so I come around the corner. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, you got my belt? And I go, I haven't seen it.
Oh, God.
And he goes, it's
You
funny.
liar,
'cause-
bro.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's funny because he goes, yeah, it's funny because
Every day.
it was on my closet.
I put it on this hook.
And yeah, every day. And you've been asking to borrow it like all the time. And now it's not there. Your mom doesn't wear this belt. You know, your little sister doesn't wear this belt.
Nope.
And I'm like, I haven't seen it. And my dad, I think he knew I was lying. And he went from like 0 to 60. He goes, it's probably in that dirty room of yours.
Okay.
Because there's clothes everywhere.
Well, Dad,
You
that's
can't find
hurtful.
it.
That's hurtful.
So my
yes.
dad goes, once you go in your room and look for it, me, knowing I didn't have it, I go, okay. So I go to my room hoping to buy some time. And I'm
Yes.
just like looking
Yeah.
for this belt that I know isn't there.
Uh-huh.
I come back, I go, hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's gone. And he knew I was lying and he
Yep.
was furious. And
Yeah.
he was like, just tell me you took the belt. And I was
Okay.
like, is it possible that you lost the belt?
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
Are
And-
you insane?
Bro, let me tell
This
you.
is the stance that you
What?
chose to take.
Yeah,
For a
this is
belt?
the hill I was gonna die on, bro. And so my mom comes over. I kid you not.
Did
she
you
goes,
have like somewhere to live at the time
Well,
so
no,
you could be that attitude?
it was the summer before freshman year of college, actually.
Oh,
Dude, that
wow.
is the
like,
worst.
right, I know, because
For-
like you're transitioning from like alpha or like
Yeah.
from
Yeah, beta to alpha.
right. So my mom comes over. Kid you not? She goes, I don't care who does it. One of you's got to move out. Because like it was getting like
Wow.
heated.
This happened to me and my dad
Two
right before I moved to
lions.
college.
Yeah,
Going
and so
at
what's
it.
funny
It was
is,
rough.
no lie, my dad listens to this show.
Yep.
And he's probably finding out for the first time that
Oh,
like I'm
God.
admitting that hey, I
Oh,
lost your
my
belt, my
gosh.
guy. I mean, he knew in the spirit, but I'm admitting it now publicly.
Yeah, he didn't think his belt evaporated.
He knew what happened
Yeah.
to it.
I'm just also curious as, a self-proclaimed skater boy.
Right.
Okay.
How did you keep your pants up when you're pulling off these sick tricks
Yeah,
if
pre-belt.
you didn't have a belt?
Right, exactly. So
And you're only getting a belt for fancy dates
Yeah.
and homecoming.
that's
Well,
the
I think it probably flew off on one of the tricks.
that's the thing.
That's
My
how he's
guess.
getting those
I
dates.
was just gonna say
Okay.
is most skateboard tricks don't require your hands. So I would just hang on to my britches,
Nice.
Okay.
and then the
Perfect.
feet would do the tricks.
Uh-huh.
But that doesn't look cool in photos. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm hanging on, just pulling my pants up, trying to skate. So hence the belt. Yeah, Dad, I'm
Wow.
sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I think you should buy him another belt just now.
Wow.
Just as like a hey dad, I love you gift.
it's been 20 years. I mean,
It's
like,
the perfect
No.
time.
you think so?
Yeah.
Alligator leather would be a nice touch.
Next
honestly.
Father's Day, maybe.
So here's my thing with arguments.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm not confrontational. arguments don't really happen because I like to explain things. And if you want to get into an argument with
He'll
me,
pull out a whiteboard. It's the worst.
right?
Yeah.
If you want to get into argument with me,
Yes.
that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to explain to you
Why you're wrong.
why you're wrong.
I've been on the receiving end. I think I have.
And so I'm going to politely inform
Yes.
you.
Right. That's
I'm
good.
not going to argue.
Nope.
Jimmy Carter.
Right. I'm just
Got
going
it.
to inform you
Right.
of why your stance is incorrect
Right.
and give you the facts to back that up. These are not opinions.
These are facts.
These are
Cameron will
facts.
calmly say, I'm sorry you think that,
Right.
Yep.
but it's wrong.
It's wrong.
Factually.
And
right.
here's
Yeah.
why.
Come on.
But however, so arguments aren't really a thing. However, I have a reoccurring argument
Mhm.
with my toddler right now
Mm.
Right.
every single day.
Okay.
Right.
And it involves bath time.
No.
And so his whole
Okay.
thing right now is just
Loves it or
choices.
hates it.
He's 2 years old.
Yep.
Well, it's an argument to do anything right now. His first thing is always no.
Mhm.
It just started like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
He automatically says no to things.
You hungry?
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it literally, even if he wants to do it,
Yeah.
it's not even
No.
like a thought. It's just no.
You take my belt? No.
Amen, brother.
And so, anyways, he loves taking a bath. Hey, River, you want to go take your bath? No. And so I'm able to, finally, after however
Yeah.
long, and get him in the bath. He loves playing in the bath. All right, River, you ready to get out of the bath? No.
Wow.
Right.
And so that's another argument.
Yep.
I'm telling him, if you get out of the bath, we can do these fun things.
Yeah.
And so it's always, I'm informing him of
Mhm.
why his
Ah,
opinion is
I
incorrect.
see.
Right?
Mm. Does that work?
Facts.
on
We can go play
a toddler?
Right.
Yeah.
and we can go have fun. We can go
Mhm.
bye-bye and go see your friends.
Whoa.
If you get out of the bath. No. And so, but the biggest argument
Yeah.
is the color of towel that he uses after the bath.
Come on.
We have two colors of
Come
towels.
on.
Okay.
We're not fancy people.
Okay.
We keep it
Well, two colors says.
two
Yellow and
is
orange.
Is that fancy? It's gray and blue. And he chooses every day if he wants a gray towel or blue towel.
Okay.
And it's wrong every time. So if I give him an option, you want gray towel? Yeah, I want gray towel. Okay, perfect. Sorry, Hannah. No, I want blue towel.
What?
Okay, fine. Blue towel.
Blue towel it is.
I wanted gray towel.
Oh my god.
Dude, and it doesn't matter, bro.
Does he try to explain it to you? Let me explain this. while
Listen,
you're
Pops. Listen, Pops. Here's why I want the gray towel. Actually, you know what? I'll take
Yeah.
it goes back and forth, and he's had full-on meltdowns.
Mm.
7:30 a.m. before school
Oh, my
my
God.
God.
about a color of towel. So, anyways, it's more of not like the craziest argument. It's me venting to my friends
Okay.
of how I'm
Right.
trying to stay sane
Yeah.
before
But here's
8
the
o'clock
thing.
in the morning.
I saw it myself tonight.
Yeah.
We pull up to the studio, and River, his son, was sitting at the table, and Cameron goes, "River, do you want pizza or a hamburger for
Right.
dinner?"
Yep.
And River said, "Dad, Mom doesn't respect you."
Yep.
And that's what
That
I was
was a
like,
weird-
a little too far,
Yeah.
Okay.
buddy.
And then he looked at Wayne. He's like, "Why are your pants sagging?"
Yeah. And he goes, "Where's your belts? Where's your belt, skinny boy?" And what do you say to you, Josh?
Go take a shower. And I was like, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
What a bully.
Yeah.
What a bully.
Oh man.
All right, Joshua, have you ever had any?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had a few.
Yeah. You're pretty agreeable, though.
I'm a very agreeable guy.
Right.
Thank you
Yeah,
for saying
for
that.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the one I can remember,
Not at all.
the one I can really remember where I took the wrong stance.
Okay.
I was having a tummy ache
Okay.
riding in.
That's never fun.
With my mom and one of my stepdads.
Right.
And I think maybe my brother or sister.
Yeah.
Who can even remember those things?
Right.
Sure. Big family.
And tummy ache, right?
Yeah.
Too much cotton candy and
Right.
Charleston chews, probably.
Yeah.
So my stepdad, number 3,
Nick.
yeah,
Oh God.
he says, "Why don't you come up here, sit on my lap?"
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
No,
Well,
thank you.
the car. This is back. It was like in the 60s.
Yeah.
where that was legal.
Right.
So I get up there, sit down, turn, throw a ball over him.
you threw up
Oh yeah,
like in
instantly.
the car.
Yeah, all over him.
Well,
How is that an argument?
Well, get out, clean it off. I'm feeling better.
Right. Of course you are. Your
Yeah.
body's
your
rewarding
body
you with
instantly
endorphins.
gets
Oh, yeah.
better.
Right.
Get home. The mess starts to get cleaned up,
Yeah.
and I think he says, "You got throw up on the dash." I decided, no, I didn't. That wasn't my throw up.
I know exactly where I barfed, old man.
Yeah,
That's somebody else.
And it was
Somebody
all over
else's.
you,
Yeah.
not the dashboard.
I decided to take the stance that the throw up was there.
Coincidentally.
Yeah,
It's all throw
not
up.
my throw up.
Right.
And then
I get it though.
Yeah,
It makes sense
bro.
to me if you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
When you've been shamed, the natural response is to deny.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm
For sure.
saying?
Something embarrassing like that.
Right.
Throwing up. Nobody's happy about it.
No.
Now, is
No.
that why your mom left him?
Yep,
Oh,
because
God,
of that
Wayne.
argument. Mm-hmm.
Why? I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think it was the other way around. But I had been eating peach chunks,
Okay.
and that looked like a pineapple slice.
So she couldn't stand the smell of them.
I guess so.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
it.
peach
And so she
chunks.
basically
Yeah,
was
the little
like,
thing.
she's like, Nick, I hate to tell you this, but you
It's
stink.
It's over.
You stink.
Yeah.
It smelled like throw up.
And,
Bingo.
You threw
and,
up all over my dashboard.
and I'm tired of my dashboard having puke all over
And
it.
he's like, "What? It was Josh."
Not my baby.
Mm-mm.
Not this time.
Yeah.
So could you call this your dashboard confessional?
Oh,
Get out of
Did
here.
you actually throw up on the
I'm
dashboard?
going to throw up right here.
that was too good for me to even comment on.
500 years ago, there were areas in our state that were considered do not enter zones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Everywhere?
still a lot of areas that are
Yeah.
considered that.
The reason why they were considered no-go zones is because when people would enter,
Mhm.
they would sometimes not come back.
Okay. Well,
Then who's putting the sign up?
Yeah, well, that's
who
the
knows
thing.
about it?
Here's the thing. The First Nation peoples of Florida actually dealt with this problem for hundreds of years.
Mm-mm.
In the 1500s, the Calusa tribe had so many people go missing that they actually began keeping detailed documents
Oh my
to try
gosh.
and help figure out why this was happening.
Okay. Well, I
Yep.
feel like if you're losing a lot of people, it usually is a good thing to write things down and be
Or
like, well,
move.
we should probably zone off this
Yeah.
area.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lewis went into the woods at this time
Right.
and never came back.
Do
Yeah.
you think that's a good Calusa name?
Lewis?
Calusa?
Yeah, Lewis Calusa. Followed by 100 other people.
Yeah.
Don't go in
Do
there.
you think they got that precise where they're like, it was 5 p.m. So as long as you go in at like 5:05, you should be fine.
So I figure it out. Yeah. So keep in mind the Calusa tribe, they existed here in Florida before the land was like even named Florida,
Mhm.
right? They've just,
Yeah.
they were here. They were here before the Spanish, before the French, and way before the English pioneers.
Mhm.
So they knew this state better than anyone else.
Mhm.
Okay. So when they say, hey, you probably shouldn't go near these areas,
Yeah.
I feel like we should listen just because like they're the
Yeah.
experts.
Yeah.
They are Florida, right?
Or they're
They-
hiding something really cool.
Wow, that's where your mind goes. That's
Yeah.
where the treasure's at.
Yep.
Here's the thing. The interesting part about it is we can actually pinpoint those same areas today
No.
in modern
no.
Florida.
Okay.
The Calusa people made thorough descriptions of our state,
Okay.
like the layout of the state as they knew it,
Mhm.
and they described these forbidden areas like in vivid detail.
Okay.
And now, in present day, we're able to use those descriptions to kind of locate where those areas are in Florida.
Okay.
As it turns out,
Yeah.
every single zone that the Calusa tribe marked as forbidden
Yep.
is now currently a national park.
Well, that doesn't sit right.
How
to
is that
us.
possible?
So there are 11 national parks in our state.
Okay.
11?
Yep.
Wow.
And
Josh, name them.
The Jenny Springs,
Jenny Springs,
That
the
is
Florida Wildlife Park,
right?
Silver Springs,
Yep.
Wiki Watching.
All right. So here's the thing. There are 11 national parks in our state, and 8 of those, 500 years ago, were marked as demonic zones to stay away
Jeez.
from.
Don't like the D word.
Okay, demonic seems rough.
So many
Seems
Calusa
very-
people went missing in these parks that they actually believed it was some sort of punishment from the gods. Every time a person went into one of these areas alone, they would almost certainly never return.
Mhm.
And it was like they would vanish completely, like no signs of struggle,
Man.
Right.
no evidence whatsoever, just gone into thin air.
Yep.
It was happening so often that the Calusa leaders ordered that no one travel by themselves into these areas.
I'm still following
Or
that
just
order.
not at all. Just don't go there at all.
Don't go in there.
Yeah.
So because of these new regulations, hunting parties
Mm-mm.
were the only parties that were like allowed to go in these areas.
Yep.
And they had to have at least 12 people or so to go in there. So keep in mind, these are like warriors, like 12
Right,
dudes
right.
who
Oh, yeah.
were like,
It's hard to lose 12 people.
yeah, we have to
Yeah.
go hunting.
Mhm.
And as long as we don't go alone, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Okay.
When they would go in
Don't
groups,
like that.
they would return telling like absolute insane stories. So people wouldn't go missing, but they would come back and be like, hey, like the trees came alive. We heard voices in the woods,
Okie dokie.
and the
Sounds
voices
like they were a little pickled.
yes,
Jesus.
and the voices were commanding
Yeah.
us to hurt each other.
Don't like that at all.
So they would go in groups of 12, and they would swear they would hear like someone telling them like, "Hey, don't trust the rest of your
Lewis.
group. Like, don't trust Lewis. don't trust the other 10, the other 11.
Yeah.
You should kill them."
What?
Oh,
And
my
then they would all
gosh.
share these stories, and they were all hearing something similar. Like the trees were speaking to them, like, "Hey, you should kill your friends."
Okay.
Like this is like really psychotic stuff. So they weren't disappearing because they weren't alone,
Yep.
but they were coming back like borderline insane.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really easy to sometimes hear about these wild things that happened and just kind of chalk it up as like superstition or legends. But what's really interesting is that when the Spanish invaders arrived, they too told stories about the dangerous wooded areas that caused people to either vanish or lose their minds.
Hold on. My headphones kill Wayne and Cameron. My headphones are
Exactly. But so that's what's crazy. So it's not just the people who, lived here first.
Right.
When the Spanish showed up, they would unknowingly go in these national parks
Oof.
and then have the same stories. They documented the same
Yeah.
encounters, the same stuff. The conquistadors often reported that large groups of soldiers would begin experiencing what they called mass hysteria
Oof.
after entering the woods, and they would begin wildly attacking each other.
Okay.
Well, that doesn't
well.
seem right.
Yeah, well, the Calusa had put up arrows directing all visitors like right into those spots.
Right into the quicksand.
Yeah.
So the general consensus is that people who go in by themselves go missing. People who go in together lose their minds and start trying to kill each other.
Yeah. Not good.
Right?
That's not a good thing.
Not a good vibe.
Avoid that spot.
Yeah. So soon after the Spanish arrived, the French showed up,
Mm.
and they too had their fair share of crazy wood stories.
So everybody's hearing the same thing in the same spot.
The same spots, plural. So
Yeah, 8 of them.
so the Calusa, they basically populated the bulk of the state.
Yeah.
And although they had like a general leadership kind of centralized, these separate factions would all report, "Hey, we also have woods that are like
spot.
hotspots for demonic activity."
Jeez.
And
Don't like
then, but they are basically where our national parks are today.
Okay.
And so they all shared similar stories. So the
Yeah.
French, they show up after the Spanish. They have crazy stories as well. But the French, however, they were the first ones on record, at least, to actually consult the First Nation people and ask them like what you know about this.
Yes.
Share your wisdom.
Yeah, because hey, you guys also get some weird vibes
Yeah.
in the woods. You know what I mean? Like,
For real.
can you tell us what's going on? So as it turns out, the Calusa people believed that the woods were actually haunted by a creature they called the Wendigo.
Okay.
The what now?
The Wendigo.
I think I've heard the term.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not familiar
You're thinking
with.
Winnebago.
Right.
Oh yeah,
You're thinking
it's not
of
a big
the-
RV.
No.
driving over people.
A bigger kill your friends.
Vroom.
Yeah, no, the Wendigo. So
Okay.
they said that the Wendigo actually originated from other humans, usually people who were so overwhelmed by starvation or overcome by greed would turn into a Wendigo and spend the rest of its life tormenting or killing anyone
Okay.
that came into the
That's
forest.
in the Bible.
Why
That's
is it
biblical?
Why is it such a creepy name though?
I know.
Why can't it be like something like the Jimmy Monster?
Yeah, but I just feel like if
Wendigo
you were,
just sounds scary.
if you're trying to convince like your friends to like kill each other and
Yeah.
like you're eating people or whatever, you got to have a spooky name.
Oh, for sure.
The Jimmy Monster, that's not scary.
I'd want to meet him.
Right. So what's super fascinating is that supposedly in the 1800s, stories about people disappearing in mass numbers near very specific forests
Okay.
reached all the way to President Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh wow.
And shortly after that, we're talking a matter of weeks, very specific areas around our country, especially in Florida, started being designated as national parks or preserves.
I don't get it.
And they were placed as like restricted off limits areas that citizens could not go into.
Okay.
I mean, so at least they're doing something about it.
They're like, hey, these are, here's the thing. I have a problem with calling it parks when they're just like, hey, see this park area right here?
Yeah.
Don't go in there.
Right. 500,000
Oh, I see.
acres.
Yeah. Park is fun, right?
Park sounds fun.
yeah, but
Zone sounds
Not for
scary.
these people. Exactly.
D
Scary
zone.
zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So although the stories have definitely like decreased in our state. As our state modernized, there's still an impressive amount of people who have gone missing in Florida's national parks. Like in modern day, no signs of struggle, just simply vanishing.
So they go into the D zone, they don't come out.
I guess so. So Florida has the second highest unsolved missing people statistic in the country. The only other state that beats Florida is California, but they have 20 million more citizens.
Right.
Yeah. So we're a close second, just saying. Nonetheless, we have had a ton of Wendigo stories sent in by our listeners over the years.
He sounds like he's bragging about it. He's like, we're a close second.
Yeah.
We have a bunch
if we can just have a few more people go into the national parks, we could really pull out a first place on this one.
10.
We're already first on meth and lightning.
Right.
Let's work on it, guys. So here's the thing. A lot of stories have been sent in about this, but I'm going to read one tonight.
Oh, God.
In honor of our spooky season, in honor of the Halloweens. This is my favorite Wendigo story that's ever been sent in to us. It was submitted by Samantha from Jacksonville.
Okay.
So hello, Samantha.
Is there a hot spot up there? Is there a D zone?
I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
This Wendigo story was told to her by her grandfather years ago. And I'm just going to read it to you guys. I'm going to share it. In 1892, a French man was in Florida, and he wanted to go hunting in a part of the state where a few people had ever hunted.
Okay.
So he traveled to a trading post, and he tried to find like a guide that would take him like further into the woods.
Sure.
Right.
But no one would do it because they all said it was too dangerous. Finally, after like a night of drinking, a First Nation man stepped forward, and he says to the French hunter, that he's like, I will lead you into the woods because I need money very badly. I really need this job.
Okay.
And the French hunter had been drinking, and he was like, you know what, let's do it. Like,
should we start in the morning?
Yeah, right. So the guide's name was Amatola. So the French hunter and Amatola, they set out into the woods, and they made camp in kind of this like in the mud near this large lake.
Of course.
It's weird that his name wasn't Lewis, honestly.
I know.
I thought Lewis was going to be.
Yeah, you're thinking of Lewis and Clark.
Okay. Never heard of that.
Yeah. So they make camp in the mud near this large lake, and for 2 days they hunt, but have nothing to show for it. They didn't see a single animal. And so the third night, Amatola and this French hunter, they're in the tent, and a windstorm comes up. And so they're laying in their tent, they're listening to the wind howling, and the trees are like whipping back and forth. And the hunter, in order to kind of see like the storm better, he opens the tent flap, only to see that the wind wasn't blowing at all.
Don't like that.
Everything was super still.
Trees are still nothing.
They're chilling.
They're just hanging out, no wind.
Butterfly
still.
just flying in front of the tent.
Right. Yet they could still hear the wind howling. And the more the French hunter listened, the more it sounded as if the wind was calling Amatola's name.
Okay.
And so he actually said, I must be losing my mind. Like I feel like the wind is calling out to you.
But there's no wind.
Oh my god.
Right. But when he turned to Amatola to tell him that, Amatola had gotten out of his sleeping bag and was huddled in the corner of the tent with his head buried in his arms, rocking back and forth.
Oh, no. Not what you want to see. Well, there's two things you don't want to see. Him coming at you with a knife.
Yeah.
Or him
having a panic attack in the corner of the tent.
Right.
So the hunter asked him, like, hey, like, what's going on? You okay? To which Amatola replied, you should go to sleep. Don't worry about it.
What? No. I'm just supposed to lay down and like
while you're sitting over creepy in the corner.
Lord.
So the French hunter, he's still sitting there. He's still kind of keeping his distance from Amatola, and he's still hearing the wind call out Amatola's name.
Like
and so the more it happened, the more tense Amatola became, like just rocking back and forth. Suddenly, Amatola jumps to his feet and he runs out of the tent. And the hunter actually tried to pursue him because it's in the middle of the night, tries to pursue him, but he couldn't keep up. And the French hunter said that he could hear Amatola screaming in the woods, and he was saying over and over again, my feet are on fire, my feet won't stop burning.
He just had to dance.
He said that sometimes you have to.
Sometimes cool him off in the lake.
Yeah. So his voice faded, and everything, including the sound of the wind, calmed down. So at daybreak, the hunter, he follows Amatola's tracks in the mud. And the tracks go through the woods, they go down towards the lake, but then they take a sudden turn around the lake. And that's when the hunter noticed that the further the tracks went, the bigger the tracks got. And the larger the tracks got. So he's
Okay.
following Amatola's tracks, but the further they go into the woods, the larger the tracks become.
And the guy said his feet are on fire.
Exactly. As if he said the tracks appear to not even be human any longer.
That's when you stop.
That's when you go
stop
home.
You turn
pursuing.
back, yeah.
So the French hunter, he turned back.
Okay,
He goes back
thank
to the
goodness.
trading post. And when he arrives, there were other First Nation peoples there. And they inform him that Amatola was a very greedy man.
Oh, gosh.
And that the spirits in the woods had transformed him into a Wendigo. And so apparently,
Don't like that.
this hunter's kind of spent the next few years like drinking and telling everyone,
Right.
this is what happened to me, but no one would believe him. Like everybody's like, oh, well, you're a drunk. No one, eventually
I believe him.
he goes back to France, right?
Yeah.
That's just one Wendigo story.
That's plenty.
There are hundreds of similar stories. And, with every legend, you want to take it with a grain of salt. But I do think there's something to be said about stories that have existed like for so many years within so many different cultures, right? Like,
True.
like the Calusa people, they have stories.
Yep.
The Spanish, the French, the early pioneers, everybody that comes to Florida and spent times like in the national park, they had these like very similar tales.
This is true.
Right.
that they're
And
sharing.
at some point, it can't be just a coincidence.
At some point, the data, right.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about
Like, there has
this,
to be truth to it.
right?
Mhm.
And I was looking back at our episode 100 and thinking about like last
Oh,
Halloween,
my gosh.
we were in
There's a lot to
the
think
deep
about.
swamp,
Okay.
and we were there investigating missing persons
Yes.
cases.
Right.
And at the time, we didn't really have a name for anything, but we all felt something spooky. It was
Jimmy
kind of
Monster.
crazy. Josh called it the Jimmy Monster, and we're like, that's not fitting.
We didn't know about
Knowing what
Wendigo.
I was
Thank
just about to
God.
say, knowing what we know now about Wendigos, is it possible, listeners, what we experienced on episode 100 was a Wendigo? Is that something that possibly we should consider?
No
Going
need to
back,
write in.
Maybe go back and
Agree or
listen
disagree.
to that episode
Yeah.
and let's see, what we can find. But yeah, we
I think
appreciate
there's
you
a lot
guys.
to learn from that one.
Episode 149.
Didn't we have an episode that kids in a state park and like they were camping or something? There were a bunch of camp houses and like kids got eaten or something.
No, that was it was a campground. It was early on. The Werewolf of something swamp, I think, or something along those lines. American Werewolf in Florida or something we called it.
American Wendigo?
It could have been.
Oh, lost in translation.
They said that like a cow got its head. Remember that? Like
Yeah,
the
it turned
cow was,
inside
like,
out.
Was destroyed.
It
Yeah.
was coming out the other side.
Oof. So yeah, Florida's got some weird stuff. We don't have the answers, but you know what we do have the answer to?
I mean, the Everglades sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
No.
the Everglades obviously have to be, I mean, it's a national park, but have to be one of those areas
Easily.
that people lose their mind in.
It's the largest, like uninhabited land this side of the Rocky Mountains. This side of the Mississippi, right? So the Everglades
It's
is
a big
just
patch.
massive unexplored land. And so that's why I think a lot of people, especially locals
Yep.
who were born and raised there, they have these tales because, their great-grandfather told them to their grandfather and it gets passed down.
Right.
But living in isolation, there's a very real...
In swamp.
Right.
Oh yeah, thick
There's a thing
swamp.
you can look it up. Pioneers often struggled with what's called like the Prairie Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
It's where they would go and they would homestead, and there wouldn't be a neighbor for days, and they would report hearing sounds, and they would lose their minds. And psychologists believe now in modern times that it was a state of psychosis, that it wasn't actually, it's isolation. You start hearing things. So it's possible. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk about that, by the way.
I would love to sit here
Very
for a while.
informative.
Yeah. But no, I think it's fun to celebrate the
Yeah.
spooky just for a little bit, you know?
just for a few weeks.
Just
and
for a
then
couple more weeks. Next week,
out.
next week's episode 150.
Wow.
Oh wow,
150.
probably King Spooky.
We'll
It's
see
probably
what,
King something.
we'll see what happens.
The King's going to show up for sure.
Come
The Jimmy
on,
Monster shows
long
up.
live. Hey, so patreon.com/FMOFM
Yes.
podcast. That's where you can find all the bonus material. It's where you can
goodies.
find everything you desire, everything your heart wants.
Mm-hmm.
Patreon.com/FMOFM
Fame,
podcast.
fortune, friends.
Come on.
Foes?
Wendigos.
Right?
Come on. Wendigos,
I goes.
I don't knows. We love you guys.
Oh,
God bless.
Bye.